Okay, a very warm welcome to our B.CONNECT presentation. Yeah, from Tuttlingen or from the picture seen from Melsungen. This is kind of an interesting setup, having that virtually, and it's not that often that I have 1,500 people in my living room sitting. So I think we need to cope with that situation. So welcome to my apartment, and of course, welcome to our B.CONNECT presentation. Today, Philip and myself, we want to present you what we have done so far with B.CONNECT. We are on the way with this PLM implementation. So we are one team. I'm looking into that from the business side. And Philip?
I'm the responsible person from IT side for our PLM program called B.CONNECT. Hello to everyone.
And we are doing that as a one team together. And of course, we are also having this one team thinking within our complete project team. So we are including here also our project leader from TECHNIA into that. Prabhu, he is also supporting us. This is one global team where we are going into B.CONNECT to present that on a global level. But let's start first with just a short introduction to Braun. And of course, the coronavirus is currently dominating the news, but just let's have a short look into this video clip. So before we are starting with B.CONNECT and what B.CONNECT is, let's give me a short introduction to Braun and the reason why we are busy in this situation right now. If you're looking at Braun at a glance, Braun is doing medical devices and pharmaceuticals. We have around 65,000 employees worldwide. Last year, we had around 7.5 billion revenue. And we are globally distributed and spread. We have a lot of investment. This is a complete family-owned company. So a lot of the sales revenue is reinvested in building up the company. Our products, what we are producing, are overspanning 16 different therapeutic areas. We have products for abdominal surgery, or for cardiothoracic surgery, so everything what's around the heart or the stomach. Then we have products for continence care and urology. We have products for diabetes and blood treatment, but also on a different level, the infection prevention, so everything about disinfection and cleaning and wound support here. A lot of infusion therapy, so infusion solutions, what we are doing here. Then also vascular implants, stents, something like that, for heart surgeries, for products here. Then products for neurosurgery, such as depicted here, some smaller clips for brain and vessels surgeries. We are also supporting the infusion therapy with nutrition, so that not only the infusion is taken care of, but also the nutrition for patients. Then we have a lot of range of different implants for the orthopedic area. Also, I will just continue here with the spine surgery, which are shown some pictures later, as this is a big field for us. Then we have osteotomy care products, also regarding products regarding pain therapy, and also the wound management at the end, and of course also all the sterile goods like containers, like instruments to do surgeries. So overall, Braun overspans here quite a lot of products, what we are going into for that. And of course, a lot of these products are in high demand right now, for example, infection prevention, disinfection solutions. So that's the reason why we are busy supporting the global community, all of the people to improve and take care of the health of these people. One of the topic I want to highlight is, because this has then an impact also within B.CONNECT, within our PLM project, we are producing more than 5,000 products, or if you count it a different way, 120,000 sellable articles. So this is a huge range, and as you have seen, we have been, these articles are in a different area of products, so we are overspending here quite a lot. So this means there are a lot of different requirements in the background of life sciences, in the background of Braun, which we need to take care within B.CONNECT. So let's have then a look into what is B.CONNECT, what it is about. So why we are doing that, this is the first step to think about B.CONNECT and PLM. So we have our product here in this example, we have a syringe. Around this syringe, we have a lot of information, metadata, which is something like height, dimension, gross weight. You all know that we are handling this master data. But then we have on a second layer, we have also even more master data to handle. This has more like logistic flavors. How many parts are in a pallet? How much does that pallet weigh? How is it packed? These kind of things. Yeah. But nowadays, there's getting more and more data around that also, which have a regulatory impact. So is there latex in this product? Where do I allow it to sell this product? What are UDI or other identifier for this product? How can we market that and how can we keep that? And this is a lot of data. This is a lot of data on different levels. And currently we are storing this data in different silos. We have, of course, SAP, we have CAD, and also document management system where this data is located. And this data is managed by a lot of different people, a lot of different domains that overspanning these silos. And this picture is like a mess, and actually it is like that. And we need to overcome that. We need to come to a common platform where we have this data available, where we can link this data together, where we have then at the end also the traceability behind that, so that we see where is the data, who has created that, and who is allowed to change it. If just to give you an example, to give you an impression, what does that mean? We have here one of our complex products like a dialysis machine. And just for the documentation, for the design history file, we have around 400 documents what we need to keep track on while we are developing this product. We have around 4,000 items of requirements what we need to keep track on during development and later on. Just the product risk assessment, just for this product, has around 1,000 pages. Yeah? We need to do the validation. We have the test cases. We have the documentations. You see there are around 30,000 pages just of test documentation, which is quite a lot. But of course, this is something what we do during the development of this product, so we can handle that kind of to some extent. But if you look here to the last 2 lines, we have a service life for this product around 10 to 15 years. So this means all of this documentation, all of this validation, whatever we have created here, we need to keep track and maintain that for not only 1 or 2 years, we need to keep track of that for a lot of years, so 10 to 15 years. And there are a lot of changes during a year, around 250, due to manufacturing, due to change of parts and so on, due to change of regulatory requirements, so that we need to constantly change and update and maintain this data, and which is quite a lot. And if you're doing that, let's say, like shown on the picture on the right, just in paper, like in the folder archives, this is just not possible. We need to overcome that. We need to come to a basic foundation here to have that as a PLM, to have a platform to connect this data, to help us in maintaining all of this different data. If you're looking into the product, what does that mean for us? We have, again, the product in the middle. But around that, we have the life cycle. And of course, we are starting here with the ideation, and then we have the development, we are doing our supplier collaboration, we are doing at the end producing that part, and then finally we are launching this. And then after launch, the maintenance and service phase starts until the product is retired. So this is, of course, the life cycle of this product, and I'm quite sure you know these kind of life cycles, and you know all of your difficulties in keeping track and keeping these together. But we are saying to keep this life cycle for a product alive, we need to keep 4 different dimensions into that. And first, we need to think about the people doing that, people working in the processes, using the systems, and at the end of the day, maintaining and creating the data. So only if we are connecting these 4 dimensions together, we are able to have this complete product lifecycle management. And as mentioned, we are integrating that together. And with that, we are coming to our main goals of B.CONNECT. And this is that we want to have seamless data integration, that we have the data integrity and traceability with that data, that we need to come to a flexible and scalable platform to adapt also to upcoming needs. And at the end of the day, we want to get to an efficient and smart collaboration of all of these things all together. And that's the reason why we are going into this.
May I add something to that, Fabian? For us, B.CONNECT is not an IT project. For
Absolutely.
us, B.CONNECT is a business change project. But sure, the IT system is one important pillar, but it's only one pillar. And if we have not a successful new setup of the new best practice process, the new data architecture, a new governance with the people, we will be not successful with only an installation of one system. Therefore, it's really for us, B.CONNECT is business change project.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the next slides make that a little bit more visible also. In the past, we had these kind of islands, and then we have here sailboats connecting these islands, meaning that I've prepared some documentation and I'm bringing that to someone else's desk that he can work on that. Nowadays, we are a little bit better. We have here already steamboats, so we are using email and fax for communicating and exchanging data. But this is not enough. We need to come to this future picture where we are connecting these islands with bridges, with airplanes, so with automated ways in exchanging data, in maintaining data. What we are saying is that PLM is not one island for us. It's a lot of islands, but we need to connect that together, that the data flowing over that is really, in an automated way and visible and traceable between these things.
Yeah. And you can compare one island, for example, with one application, that you can say CAD application is one island, the PLM system is one island, the ERP, we have labeling application, we have simulation application, we have the risk management application, and we have to find intelligent way how we can connect the different capabilities of the different systems, that we can really establish single source of truth.
Absolutely. Now we are going into the principles because we said we need to have very strong guiding principles for B.CONNECT to overcome this chaotic way. So we need to do that, and we want to go into the details of that with the next upcoming slides. So just here as an overview, we have 6 principles what we are laying down with B.CONNECT, And we are believing that these 6 principles will be helping us to come to these strategic goals, what we have been showing just some slides ago. Let's start going into the first steps of this. So for us, Braun is split up in 4 different divisions. We have hospital care, we have Esculap, we have Avitum and outpatient market, which are focusing on different parts of our product portfolio. So Esculap, for example, is doing all of the instrumentation and implants, while Avitum is everything around dialysis machine and blood treatment. And hospital care is everything what you need in a hospital setup. So all of the infusion solutions, these needles, and so on, cannulas. And the outpatient market is focusing on home care and what you need at home or in patient care centers. Yeah. And we have these divisions, but from B.CONNECT perspective, we have these 5,000 products, what we have also shown in the beginning. And from B.CONNECT, we need to collect these all together. And we are saying this is the Braun, this is all of what we have as the products. So we need to overcome and find ways how to group the products together. And so we introduced the product archetypes where we have a same classification in the background where we can group products together. And that means that we have here same product. So this could be a complex active medical device. This could be a dialysis machine from Avitum. This could be an autopilot from Esculap, or this could be a pump from hospital care. But these products are all for the requirements, for the classification the same. So we are grouping these together. And this helps us in coming to a common platform, in grouping these products together and not thinking in the divisions or location in special needs, but more in the needs, what do I need to do for the product?
And for Braun, that's a new way of thinking. In the past, we was organized based on divisions. Each division have their own processes for development. They're independent if maybe both divisions or separate divisions have each of them a need for a separate development process, for example. Therefore, it's really a new way of thinking that we share our processes and define it once for one archetype.
Absolutely. And the second principle based on these product archetypes is that we are talking about data templates. So we want to have their templates. The way we are envision here is that I'm thinking, what of a product do I want to design or develop as a next step? So I'm selecting my product out of these product archetypes. For example, I'm now thinking about a complex active medical device. And in the background, I'm getting already my data structure set up. And this data structure is on a template basis. So we have there already different sections. And we have in here sections which section is the same for all of our products. So this is on a global layer because we all have sellable article numbers, we all have materials and the bill of materials in here. Yeah. Then we have something for the archetype specific layer where we will have information only for this product archetype. As in this example, we have been talking about a complex active medical device. We need to have software in this. But a pharma product doesn't need to contain software, but it needs to have a recipe. So this layer is then different for each of the product archetypes. And then the last layer is that we have a country-specific layer where we really need to have some information, which is, for example, just valid for China. They need to have a special warning sign in the instruction for use or something like that, that we keep that also on this kind of level. So getting down to that. And that also means that we have the information, in this example, just the height in one location stored, and it's clear who has the ownership about this information. And in all of the other locations where we are needing that, it's just a copy or reused, but it's clear who has the governance on this, who is allowed to change it, and also seeing where it is used and what is done with this information. And with that, we will come to a global harmonization about 80% and only allow 20% of country-specific information and have there a global platform, which is a major topic for us. If you're looking into the third principle, this is for us a unique product identifier. We need to connect the data together. Today we have something like the design history file or EBOM, MBOM, and all other information. And this is somehow connected. Sometimes it's just connected in a independent way because we know the article number is the same, so we know this is connected, but this is no single source of truth. We can't do automated traceability. So this means we need to come to the system tomorrow where we have a product identifier in the middle, all of the data and information around that, and we connect everything together with the product identifier so that we have here the single source of truth with a fully automated traceability between everything, as we can have that with this product identifier. And this product identifier will also enable us to have there the possibility to have a search. Let's say if I'm looking later up something or need to look up something with this product identifier, I get everything what is connected to it, all kind of information. So I have the whole history of this product available on or at my fingertip, more or less. Okay, Philip, do you want to continue with the?
Yes, so the next principle is the data-driven documentation. Yeah, it's a very important principle for us. Currently, we store the content based on a document approach. That we store, for example, the document intended use in a document that's by itself called intended use, but we store the same content in other documents, like risk analysis or like clinical evaluation. In each of these documents, we have the intended use. We approve it, we print it out, we sign it, we scan it, and then we store all of these documents in our current document management system called DDocs. So now consider if we have to change something of it. There is a huge manual effort to have the full traceability, that we change all the documents where the same content is stored. Yeah. And we are saying we have to change it. We have to come to a data-driven approach, where we only store once the content, confirm it, approve it, sign it within the database, and then the documents is only derived from the database when we need that for the legal authorities, like in our life science industry for FTE, for example. Yeah, so for me, the meaning is the content is only stored once in the database and not anymore in a manual document like PDF, Word, and so on. Can you go to, I can click for, yeah. And this will also, Fabian, can you go to the next slide?
Yes.
It's not working on my side. And this will also allow us a seamless access to the product data. When we have really this data-driven approach, then it doesn't matter for us if the employees are sitting in US at home, in the home office, or in our headquarters in Melsung, or the supplier in China, or even our biggest production plant is in Malaysia, in Penang. So this will also allow us that we have a seamless access to our product data when we follow this data-driven documentation approach. Please click, Fabian. The next principle is more coming from an IT perspective, that we want to establish a platform strategy, that we only allow one application for one capability. Capability for us is a functionality, like labeling, like risk management, like workflow management, and so on. So currently, we have a more heterogeneous system landscape, that we have for the same systems, for the same capability, we have several systems in use. For example, for requirement management, we have a lot of different applications in use. Or my favorite example is for the labeling processes, where we have currently more than 50 applications in use for the same purpose on a global scale. That's a huge amount which the IT has to support. And we have to come to a more platform strategy, that we define one application, one platform for one capability. So, and for us, PLM is not only one system. On the other side, for us, it's an intelligent landscape where we connect the leading defined system for one capability. On the one side, we are talking about our CAD, CAX systems, where we already have CATIA and SolidWorks in use, but also for our ALM system, and then the big platform around all of it is for us the 3DX platform. We have evaluated a long way the different systems, but our decision end of last year was we want to go with the 3DX platform as our central platform within the PLM landscape, and together with TECHNIA and Dassault as our strategic partners. But we need also connections around the PLM side. For us, also a minor part of the ERP side is for us in our wording part of the PLM, and also supporting systems like our PIM, our Product Information Management, which is more than coming from the SAP. The Hybris system is for us part in our PLM platform. And we are currently building step by step this landscape, beginning with the central platform, the 3DX platform. Can you click to next? The last principle which we have defined is the out-of-the-box principle. We want to be as near as possible to the standard which the IT system is offering. Yeah. This is coming out of different criteria or decisions which we had. We said, okay, we want to follow a best practice approach. We want to use a common and a proven software application, and we want to have it as easy as possible for the updates. Yeah, and we're also considering in the future the more and more coming concepts regarding the evergreen approach with a continuously updating mechanism behind. Also for us, as we are talking in the PLM about a system landscape, the interfaces for us are very important. Interface between PLM and the ERP system, between the PLM and the labeling system, and therefore also this out of the box will help us to define and execute the best way for our interfaces. And we are calling that our integration layer, that we want to have to establish one central instance where we connect the different applications over an integration layer, where we also have several applications in use to monitor and execute this layer. And for sure, especially in the life science area, we have to validate our systems whenever we are doing, when we install a new system, when we implement a new system, but also when we are changing something in the process or in the configuration, then we have to do a revalidation of the system. If we are following here also the out-of-the-box approach, this will also help us in the revalidation later on of the system. And therefore, the out-of-the-box is also one of our principles. Can you click, Fabian, to the next one? Especially for the out-of-the-box, for us it's important how we can execute that, because it's easy to say we want to stay as near as possible to the standard. On the other side, we are a complex organization with 65,000 different employees globally. So, and therefore we need a strong governance on that process, how we can stick as near as possible to the out-of-the-box approach. And therefore we have defined different levels of enhancement, starting with out of the box. Then next one is a pure administration. Then we have a standard configuration, a deep configuration, and then the last step is an enhancement. There are defined rules and criteria behind for which change of the system is following or is going into which box. And if this decision tree is then done, we have also behind that a clear approval process. For sure, for out of the box, no approval process is needed. But whenever we are doing enhancement, this means coding, yeah, there needs to be a sign-off from our steering committee. And this will help us to empower that we can stick as near as possible out of the box. We will not do any enhancement without having any approval from the steering committee with a clear business case. And we have to think all the time, is it needed to change the system, or is it not even a better way to change the process or even to change the organization? So, and this is our rule set, how we want to establish this new way of thinking in our organization.
And this also makes it really important that we are choosing the right strategic partner for this, as we need, of course, yeah, the already fitting standard or out of the box fit. Because if we want to go as much as possible with standards and best practice approaches. This means that we need to have that already included in the platform so that this is already fitting to our thinking, so that we really can just apply and use that. So that's important to choose here your strategic partner wisely, to have that with this approach for us, as this is so important for our validation.
There is an incoming question about what about an agile or hybrid approach. I think we will answer that, but I think let's put that to the partner club. Let's finalize the presentation, and then we will also answer that question, because we will think a lot about our approach, agile, hybrid, V-model, and other topics.
Absolutely.
Okay. So success factors. What is for us, beside of our basic principles, what are for us the success factors? For sure, on the one side, our basic foundation, our constitution in our project with this PLM principle. From the beginning on, for everyone in the project, it is clear what we want to establish with these PLM principles, what are they, and why we are doing it, and what we get as a return as a company. On the other side, the ownership for us is very important, and the ownership for us starting really at the board level. Braun has last year defined a clear strategy for the digitalization, and B.CONNECT is one of the important pillars, one of the big digitalization projects. But we are one project of an overall digitalization strategy that we really, as Braun, can think in end-to-end process with state-of-the-art process, with state-of-the-art systems. Yeah. So, and this also starts with a board awareness. Yeah. We have achieved that our board is really promoting, on the one side, B.CONNECT, and also supporting us. Whenever there is a meeting, appointment from the board, yeah, the board is really promoting our project. For example, there was a few weeks ago, there was a financial press release of the financial figures of last year, and one important part regarding this press release was really that digitalization is key for the success of Braun in the next decade. And really our board, especially in the current Corona situation, is supporting that we still continue on this digitalization project. For us, also in the project, is very important that we have a clear process ownership. In the past, or still, we are organized on different divisions, Escolab, Avitum, Hospital Care, or OPM. Yeah. So, but we want to establish this global harmonized processes. This means we need someone off the board who takes global ownership about the process and also supporting and empower the project. And therefore, it doesn't matter in which divisions later on the process is running. We need one person out of the board which is really taking over this ownership, this decision we have from the board, and this commitment we have from the board. But that's one side, that we are empowered from the board. But otherwise, the other side is that also our project team, we have an organization currently out of 60 people which are working in the project, yeah, and we are doing it totally virtually, but we need a clear, engaged, activated people with the right mindset. And we was searching last year, end of last year, quite a lot on the right people, and get really also the commitment from the line manager that the people are allowed to work on the project. But I think we are now in the phase that we have the people at that level, that they are really supporting us and they are really feeling this is their project. Yeah. And when I'm talking about team members, for us, it's not only about the Braun people. We are all the time saying we are one project. It doesn't matter for us from which divisions we are coming, or if we are coming from internal or external. Yeah, we are one project. And therefore, for us, it was also key for the success that we was not searching for an IT vendor. We were searching for a strategic partnership to really bring B.CONNECT with this overall concept to a successful future. And therefore, we have decided end of last year that TECHNIA and Dassault Systems, they are both our strategic partner in our PLM journey as a strategic partnership. And therefore, we have also involved them in our steering committees as an important part, but also in the project lead function. We are one team within our project.
Absolutely. And as mentioned, we need to have here the insight of TECHNIA and Dassault to life science. as this is the field where we are in. So we need to get this experience with best practice approaches into B.CONNECT so that we have also all the time the outside view. And so it's important for us to have here really a strategic partner who could support us with these experiences.
Okay, can you click? So originally our setup was more planned on face-to-face workshops, but as you all know, okay, the circumstances has changed, and therefore we have also changed our setup currently. So we are running the project currently totally virtual. So we have also started the kickoff, which we had beginning of May, so with a total virtual setup, and we are a global team. So it's starting really in Malaysia. We have team members from India. We have also in Europe several locations, several countries which are participating. We have US, and we are really doing bi-weekly workshops for sure. There's a high effort on our side to prepare that, and also for sure we have to consider the time shifts in that. But we are one team, one global team with a global setup, and that is for us a new experience with this totally virtual setup, especially from the kickoff on. But until now, we got really positive feedback from the team members that this is working well, and we will continue with this setup. And for us, it's also, especially in that time with the coronavirus, it's for us important that we are not stopping our activities. It's even for us now, we have to push our digital initiatives and even make some progress even in that time.
And this is, of course, fitting to also the current PLM Innovation Forum, as this is also virtual, and this is also all new to us. But of course, it is right now the right thing to do. And so we are happy to share also this kind of information with you virtually out of different places.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to have this one global team that we are really working all together. And this is over, of course, Braun, different sites, but also including TECHNIA and Dassault. And I think this is now also the time to thank all of the different teams. We have been working on that on a quite long way, on a quite long time. So we have the different teams of Dassault and TECHNIA, and even also Solid Works and Solid Pro working in there. So this is really a shared effort coming to that so far. So a huge thanks for this team. I think we have started our journey. This is still a long way, but with that team, we are on the right track.
Yes.
And with that, we are at the end of our presentation of the content. So now we have, of course, some time for questions. And as Philip was mentioning, there have been already the first question in.
Yeah, there was one question about the approach. Is it agile or is there a hybrid approach? That was the question.
Yeah. Do you want to answer that, Philip?
I will start. So on the one side, we in the life science industry, we have also to fulfill our legal requirements, for example, like the validation. On the other side, we said, okay, we want to have a more agile mindset. And therefore, we were thinking quite a lot, and we came to the conclusion or the decision that we will follow a hybrid approach. We still have the classical V model approach, but we have also defined then at a certain level, we want to follow then more an agile approach where we have dedicated sprints, based on a Scrum methodology, and we will here have to set up more an agile approach. But overall, we are following a hybrid approach. And maybe also to give a little bit more background, our mindset in the project is the one that we are saying the time is fixed this year, the budget which is provided from the board is fixed this year, and the scope is flexible. We have to deliver the most out of the given time, out of the given budget, what we can. So the scope is flexible. Therefore, we are also talking about a minimal viable product in our project.
Absolutely. And just to explain that perhaps for the people what not used to the V model. The V model is a way of the validation, and it has a stream on the left leg where you're starting with requirements. you're refining that, and then you can have at the bottom of the V more or less the build of or the design of this, and then on the right side of the V leg, you're doing the testing, the validation, and at the end the release. Yeah, and so we said, of course, we need to have that in this hybrid approach. We need to have this followed, but the upper left part, the requirements, we are doing just outside of a sprint. Then we are getting to the lower part of the V where we're doing the design and the build, and this is in an agile way. And if we have then designed our release, then we will go into the upper right part, do all of the testing and validation for the complete part to finalize and release that. So this is the combined approach that we have. Still followed the V, but we have in the middle, in the bottom, that we have here the agile approach.
Okay. There was we received a lot of questions. The next question was if we are a globally integrated company or still a business units oriented. Yeah. So, and currently we are still a business units oriented with the different divisions, yeah, or the different regional setup, yeah. So, but there was a clear decision from the board. We want to think in the future an end-to-end process. And B.CONNECT is the responsible project to come to end-to-end process for the product idea to end of life or the product lifecycle management. So therefore we have clear, all of the board don't think in the divisions, don't think in regions, don't think in these product archetypes. But currently we are a business unit oriented company. Anything to add from your side, Fabian, to that?
No, I'm definitely. And of course, this is what we said with the product archetype principle, that we need to overcome that, as we want to have one platform for Braun and not 4 or 5 different PLM systems.
Yeah. Then the next one is, how are you managing process harmonization, especially harmonization of processes globally?
Yes, that of course is a really important topic for us. We said we want to do that stepwise. So we have kind of a roadmap where we said for our first release, what we are focusing on the implementation, that we start here also doing the process harmonization in parallel. So for example, in our release 1, we have the design history file, which is all of the documentation, what R&D is doing. This is the outcome, what we want to implement with the release 1. So we are saying, everything what we are needing to do towards that needs to have kind of a common harmonization. So we are doing that on this level. But we are not right now harmonizing, let's say, change management or how to handle complaints or something like that. So we are doing that stepwise. So we really want to have our release close, usable, so that we really have the processes in here, and then also the functional units on the platform itself, so that we can use that. And then we will build that up in the next step. We will look into a different topic where we will do the process harmonization also in parallel, the process design, and so on, building and growing that platform. That's the idea behind it.
That's on the one side, and additional to that, we have a common framework, BPM Business Process Management, which is based on a BPM 2.0 standard, how Braun wants to do from a framework perspective, process harmonization in the future. And this is our process principle or process foundation in the project, that we're following this BPM 2.0 standard. There was one question from Ghassan, how fast you move to the virtual project environment and the current situation.
Yeah, this was more or less 1 to 100, because we had, of course, planned our kickoff mid of March, and we decided the week before this is not going to happen to meet everyone, 60, 80 people in Tuttlingen. So we just canceled that 1 week before and switched completely to a virtual setup. And yeah, it somehow worked. We are still in fine-tuning that, but of course we have tools like Microsoft Teams, Skype, all of these tools available. So our recommendation is just try it, use it, and yeah, get something done, and of course learn together how to handle this situation.
Yeah, And I think very especially important with the virtual setup is to get feedback from the people, to get questions, to get feedback via chat functionality, or we have this Menti where we was asking the people to give some, or where we are offering some questionnaires to the people that they can really give us still some feedback, because I think that's even harder with virtual setup when you can look into each of the faces and to get the right feedback from them. Yeah. So, okay, next question was, you mentioned that B.CONNECT started last May. Do you know when the project will be completed? There was different phases of the project. We have started with the design implementation phase, now beginning of March. But before of that, there were several phases for the evaluation. Evaluation of which part we want to do, and also what is for example, this basic principles. So the start of B.CONNECT was before this year, but now with this big phase of design implementation, we have started beginning of March, and we are not expecting an end. For us, that's a program, that's not a project for us. Yeah, so we have to work each year new on the functionality, on the new scope. We are expecting this will be a continuously effort which Braun has to do. It's not that we can finalize it in 3 years and then we are done with B.CONNECT. It is really a continuously effort and continuously work where Braun has to work on.
Exactly. So that means that we need, in parallel to the project or the program, that we need to ramp up operations and at some point start to phase out the project setup and hand it completely over to operations. But let's say the optimization, the improvement, this will be never done, as this will be a major platform for us, and we will need to set up also the right operations to have here the improvements and getting that. So overall, I think if I'm sticking with this project to some extent, I could retire with B.CONNECT if I'm doing it right.
Okay, next question is, what is the percentage approach concerning out-of-the-box and customization needed for your process? And how many people are concerned by this project from each company? So Systems, TECHNIA, Braun.
Okay, so this has a different aspect.
Yes.
Okay, so first for the standardization, I think it's difficult to tell right now what we are able to achieve, but the goal is definitely to have within Braun 80% of standardization and harmonization, only allow 20% adaptions. And now reflecting that to what is possible with out of the box and standards, I think we need to come to quite a lot of out of the standards. If this is 50%, 70% out of the box, that's difficult to tell right now. But I think it should be close to the 80% where we're getting out of the box and standards. The other part of the question was how much people are involved. So our overall org chart right now for the core team itself has around 60 people, 60 heads. And we have in here, I would assume around 20 people from TECHNIA. I think that's roughly the amount here. And of course, we have a lot of internal people because this was, or this is the way of Braun is doing something like that. They wanted to have our board, especially wanted to have a lot of internal effort as we are learning that and to implement this platform. And then we have around that core team of 60 people. We have there what we call the extended team, people, specialists, special matter experts, giving their insight, giving their special view into different topics like regulatory, like logistics, and so on, so that this core team, which has a global responsibility, has all of the information available, how to build up the system. And around that, there are numerous specialists, of course, not involved in the much of capacity, but giving in insights. And I would say this is around 200 people right now named on our extended team. So this is definitely quite a big team.
Yes, and especially for the people from TECHNIA, we were searching for people which really can coach, which can challenge us. So we was not searching for an external which can say yes to us. We was really searching for people which can really say no to us. There are other possibilities which they should really challenge us. We are now convinced we have found that with TECHNIA and so the right people. But for us, it's very, very important in the project that we get this external best practice in the project, and that the external can really coach us and can really bring us to, hey, what is possible? What is really best practice? What does other companies do? How this was done in other projects? That's for us very, very important in the project to get this view into the project.
And this reflects also a little bit, we haven't talking about the users, what we are thinking of. We have 65,000 employees at Braun, and we are thinking that around 13,000 PLM users will be in the system at a later stage. So of course, we are overspending not only R&D, regulatory, quality, manufacturing. We have there, of course, different roles. Not everyone is doing like CID stuff in this platform, but a lot of people will need information like drawings or specifications, like other informations out of the platform. So we are definitely getting to a big platform here. And this platform PLM is one of the big parts for the, let's say, IT systems of Braun.
Okay, so next question is, some of your equipment are mechatronic. Are you envisioning to manage embedded software, leveraging Polarion, or directly the 3D experience?
We haven't, first, yes, we have mechatronic systems, or what we call active or complex active medical devices, which have software in there, which have hardware, which have mechanical parts, and we need to combine that. And of course, we need to find the best way in doing all of the requirements. And right now, as you have probably also seen on the platform slide, that we are looking into also Polarion for all handling these dedicated requirements. So we will need, of course, connect this to the 3DX out-of-the-box functionality. But I think, as you have also seen in the beginning, we have around 4,000 dedicated requirements. We really need to have a strong grip on that. And that probably will be that tools like Polarion are better equipped to help us in handling this kind of data.
Okay. There are no additional questions in the chat.
Okay.
Sorry, there was one in the, I'm sorry, there's one. How do you address process integration and technical integration across PLM and your ERP systems? You mentioned SAP for master data management and HANA for ERP.
Philip, do you want to?
Yeah, I can answer that. So B.CONNECT is responsible for the end-to-end process, product idea to end of life, from the first idea over development, over production, over the maintaining during life cycle, and also the end of the life cycle. Therefore, for example, B.CONNECT is also responsible for the material master creation or maintaining process. So in the later stage of the process project, we will also replace our current setup, how we will create and maintain material master, for example. And there will be one major part in the PLM system, the DX platform, but also there will be then more the logistics side or the financial figures in the ERP side. But nevertheless, to set this up is the responsibility of our project. Therefore, the project B.CONNECT is not only the project to install the 3DX platform. B.CONNECT is a project to establish this end-to-end processes for product idea to end of life. And 3DX is the major platform for the PLM side. On the ERP side, we also currently on the way to implement S/4HANA as our new ERP system. And then for the material or the master data management, we will also use from SAP the product MDG, Master Data Governance Application, the system. So And besides of that, we have also to integrate all these different applications. And therefore we have defined an integration layer concept with dedicated applications, how we can connect that. To give you an example, we want to use the TIF framework from TECHNIA and connect that with our standard integration layer. On our standard integration layer, we are using different products. For example, from SAP, we are using the PO or the CPI application, but we are also using the MuleSoft applications. And we want to connect the TIF framework to one of our standard connector, to our standard integration layer application. To which one is still open, as the hosting of the 3DX platform is still open, and this decision will be influenced on that decision.
But of course, we will need to connect exactly these kind of things together. And of course, the leading idea behind is how to connect is where the data is created and how it is flowing. So for example, we are using there the net weight and the cross weight. So the net weight, for example, this is designed by R&D, because with the design and the choosing of material, you're defining the net weight of a product. So this means that the net weight is created, for example, on the PLM side. But later on, the cross weight with all of the packaging, with instruction of use, for example, this could be an information which is created on the ERP side. So we have there the two different platforms where data is created, but we need to see that always on both platforms. But it's clear that the net weight is only allowed to be changed by R&D on the PLM, and the cross weight is only allowed to be changed by, let's say, logistics on SAP. And so this is clear, and this is then exchanged in between.
Okay, there are new questions coming up. One question is, do you envision to migrate your PLM legacies in the next 3D experience?
Yes, of course, we are all thinking about getting our legacy data, especially all our CAD legacy data, into the 3D experience platform. And as you have seen, we have a service life of 10 to 15 years, or for implants, it's sometimes even longer. And also for instruments, we have instruments which have been designed 15 or 70 years ago, which are still in use and which need to be good in shape. So we really need to get also the legacy data into that. And yes, the migration will be a major driver of B.CONNECT. And we will need to think about how to do that wisely and how to get that all to the platform.
Yeah. And it's not only a technical migration, it's really that we come away from this document-driven approach where we store our data and documents into this data-driven approach. Therefore, it's not only a migration, it's a data transformation, which we will
exactly
tackle. Yeah. So, and yes, this is in the scope of the project, and we, as Fabian told, this will be one of the biggest effort driver in the project, the data transformation.
Yeah. As we are coming to an end of our time slot, I'd like to invite you also to the life science booth, as Philip and myself will step over to there, and you still have there the possibility to raise any questions, or even raise questions you wanted to raise in this big audience. So we will be available at least until noon there today, and there will be also a spot tomorrow where we will be available again in the life science booth. So just join us there if you have any additional questions towards B.CONNECT or our implementation. Otherwise, thanks for your time, and thanks for all of these questions. I think yeah, it shows that there is a lot of interest, and you're thinking about how to do PLM on your side. So yeah, thank you for giving us the possibility, having us for today, to show you a little bit of our way we are on to implement B.CONNECT and PLM at Braun. With that, enjoy the day, enjoy the fair, and talk to you soon. Thanks.
Bye. with